7 years ago, exactly, I think almost to the hour, I was walking to my chuppah on Eastern Parkway, so it's actually my anniversary. And thank you. And it's funny because a few weeks ago, my husband and I were talking about what we were going to do to celebrate, and I mentioned, maybe like our kids are getting a little older, maybe we should do like a little something with them, make it like a family thing, because it's not just about like us. This is like the start of our family. Like we really have a family now, so we could make it like a little family anniversary thing. So I feel it's very appropriate that I'm actually here celebrating with you, because I feel like Beis Chana, I'm here because of Beis Chana, and my family's here because of Beis Chana, and it feels very appropriate that I'm speaking to you on my anniversary. And what am I going to say? So I feel like Beis Chana laid the foundation for my life and for my family and for my home and the classes. My first Beis Chana program was actually in the Berkshires. It was the women's program. And I was at like a very pivotal point in my life. And I remember attending. It was really one of my first like Torah classes, programs. I was encouraged to go by somebody I was close with. And it was really a big turning point for me. And I was like, this is where I belong. This is how I'm going. This is the path I'm going down. And from there on, I encountered some of the most incredible people and women I've met in my entire life. And, Rifki's classes, laying the foundation for my life and family and my marriage, and Miriam actually prophesized my marriage, and 5 years later actually facilitated it happening. She met me at Snorkel and Study the first year that I went, and we were just talking about it, and she went home and her husband said, "How was Snorkel?" And she was like, "Yeah, it was nice." And I met Mordechai's wife, and Mordechai was one of their students. It was Sam at the time, one of their students, and she was like, "Yeah, I met his wife." So 5 years later, we got married, and that was 7 years ago tonight. And Hindalea, who has been there for me through thick and thin, through every piece of good news and every piece of bad news and every piece of I don't know news and every crisis and every question, I always call Hindalea. And Beis Chana is my family. We had Sarah Leah Krinsky's son in Yeshiva in New Haven last year, and he was eating at our house on Shabbos, and we had all the boys going around the table saying who they were, and he said he was Krinsky from Massachusetts, and I was like, "I know who you are," and he was like, "Oh, really?" And I said, "I'm Beis Chana," and his face lit up, and it was just like an instant connection, like, okay, we know each other, this is a place for you, this is your home in New Haven. And Beis Chana has really been that for me. And now, thank God, I have 3 beautiful children. I have a Chaimushka, Menachem Mendel, Levi Yitzchak, and they're Beis Chana children. Actually, 2 out of the 3 of them have been to Beis Chana on more than one occasion. I've had a lot of interesting Beis Chana experiences traveling and with my kids, and I hardly sat in on the classes, but it was just, it was really good, and I'm glad that my kids have been there for that experience. So I feel like I really owe it all to Beis Chana and my Beis Chana family for setting me on this path. And somebody in the video was talking about happiness, and I was thinking about this before, and Rabbi Friedman saying happiness is when you realize that it's not all about you, which is true. But it's also, happiness is knowing that you're on the right path. And I know I'm on the right path, and it doesn't mean it's like always perfect and everything's beautiful, not always, sometimes yes, sometimes no, but when you know you're in the right place and you're going down the right road, there's no better feeling than that, because this is where Hashem wants me, I'm doing the right thing, and I'm headed somewhere good. So it's good, it's a very good feeling, and I thank Beis Chana for putting me on that path. That's it. Thank you, Barbara, for making this possible, and for being part of the Beis Chana family. I'm now a good friend of Serena's and Razy, and there's so many connections. I also wanted to say that this I'm sure a lot of you may not even realize what a gold mine this group of people we have is. That the resources are just unbelievable. Call the Beis Chana teachers. I'm sorry I'm volunteering your time. I know it's not like you have nothing to do, but there are no wiser and more amazing and incredible women who will support you and guide you and help you build your life and your family and your home on the right path. And I thank you, Hindalea and everybody, and I love you, and I'm so happy to be here celebrating Beis Chana together.